Welcome to Shopware Unplugged, episode 5.
My name is Borys Skraba, CEO of Ergonaut and Strix. Strix is an agency, an enterprise partner of Shopware.
My name is Thomas. I'm owner of ShopWorks e-commerce, enterprise partner in the Netherlands. Our guest for today is Stefan Hamann. Hi, Stefan. Good afternoon. How are you? Nice for you to join our podcast this time. And we're looking very much to your stories and all your opinions about things happening these days. If there is someone listening who doesn't know who you are, can you please tell us what's your business and what's your business with Shopware especially?
Yes, of course. Hi, my name is Stefan Hamann. I'm the joint founder and CEO of Shopware, together with my brother for more than 20 years now. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this podcast. Thank you.
Okay. Thomas, I think we can have right now some fanfare just for us, not for you, Stefan, but for us that we managed to invite you. So thank you very much for finding time. We know it's busy. We're also recording at the evening because it's hard to find the time during the day nowadays. So the first question would be, how does your work look like right now? How it is to manage, Shopware with the crisis when everybody is lockdown, when people work from home. You have a nice office which we visited a few times. So is it closed right now, or do people come to work, or you work from home? How does it look like?
Thank you. It's a very good question, of course. We decided nearby 2 months ago to let all employees work from home because of Corona. And my first idea then was, oh my God, how is it going? How is it going to be? Will they be productive? Will everything work? And to be absolutely honest to you, was such a great experience. So everybody was working, let's say, at perfect speed and perfect productive. And that was really important mindset change for me as a CEO, that also in the future, it's absolutely, or it doesn't matter anymore where people are located. So that is quite an important learning, I think, that many CEOs had these days. But of course, it's even important to take care about the company culture. So it's also a learning that we have taken. So just for instance, every morning, me or my brother recording a video for the team with some state of the company updates, with some personal words and what is happening and what is happening next. That is just an example, but it's quite important to or to make that you have a good communication to the team, and that the team has a good feeling about how is the company going and what are the CEOs doing.
Yes, that's true. I agree with you. We had locally the same challenge that next day after lockdown, I was so stressed, how we will help them. Everybody's at home. Do they have everything what they need? That are we managed to keep the speed of work, and are we going to deliver as good as we are doing from the office? So it's the same feeling that people really made unbelievable thing, and they managed to reorganize. And many of them are working, from home with kids, with tough situation. If you don't have a big house with many rooms, it's very hard as a programmer, as a developer, to have a pressure of the project deadline, and your kids running around, and you have to do their school with them. But people manage to do it, so it's also big thing to thank. I think all the people around for the engagement. And how does it look like also from the customer side? Because you have a very direct Shopware, has a very direct contact with many customers. You have a great support also for customers. So what do you see also as a trend, right now, looking at what the customers are doing during that time? Because you probably have the biggest overview of many businesses, many different countries, many different types of e-commerces, from very small ones up to the big ones.
Yeah, absolutely right. So what we see is that, first of all, most of our merchants have sorted themselves very well, I would say, and it was also very important so that they can meet the increased demand well currently. But to be honest, it strongly depends on the industry. So we see areas which make 2 or 3 times more turnover compared to the pre-corona period, and others have experienced significant declines in business, just like selling events or something like that is not working these times. So I think overall the result is a much stronger e-commerce in the end now and also in the future, I think. So the penetration is growing a lot these days, and we see Corona a little bit like catalysator for e-commerce in Germany, but also in all other markets where we have merchants. And also, if we take a look in the long term a little bit, we think there will be some kind of market shakeout. So the market will further consolidate, and there will be, of course, a lot of space and room for many new merchants and new digital business ideas and something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Stefan, I also, during this Corona period, and especially in the beginning, I also read your blog about how you are doing businesses, and there was one interesting project. It was the downtown.shop initiative, and I don't think everybody who's listening, or maybe no one is listening, but we'll see. But can you tell the guys and girls who are listening, what is this downtown.shop project and what's the current status?
So at the beginning of the Corona crisis, we thought about what are options and possibilities to help the merchants from the, let's say, stationary context, or from the retail context.
And also the local businesses.
Yes, the local businesses, because of they have a really different level of, let's say, digital maturity. So there are retailers that don't have e-commerce or online shop for reasons, and often they are not able to let's say, to establish a professional e-commerce strategy or something like that. So Downtown is a little bit an approach. Is based on Shopware 6 technically. Also open source on GitHub, and the idea is to remove or to drastically reduce everything in terms of complexity. So the goal is that you can start selling your products within 2 minutes. You have local payment available. You can you don't have to take care about shipping. So everything is really some kind of business in a box approach. Yeah, it's quite easy. We have an app, and you can scan your products to get them online on Downtown. So everything is really, really easy to handle. And that is basically the idea. But the main difference between, let's say, Downtown and classical shop systems like Shopware or Magento or Shopify is that Downtown is targeting the regional and local audience. So it's not the plan that you, let's say, launch Downtown and then you are in a new market for you with strong competition. From our opinion, it's more important that those retailers can reach their existing and loyal customer base. And Downtown is the answer for that.
Okay, and does it mean that let's say a local farmer from Shoppingen can put his goats and sheep on it as well, or is it just?
It's also a little bit more abstracted, so you can also sell services, for instance. Okay. So it's not only about physical products. So if you maybe you just want to sell your services or your time or something like that, or you are maybe a teacher and you want to sell your time, then you can easily do this through Downtown. And the, let's say, vision or the bigger idea is to have some digital presence of the region. So you can, from a customer perspective, maybe you'll find in the future everything what is connected to a region. Doesn't matter if it is a retailer or is it somebody that can offer services or something like that.
Yeah.
Everything is digitally available on one platform, and you have a perfect overview about everything.
I think it would be a great solution for the Tietmeyer Hotel.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah. And what do you think? Because probably right now the project overall slowed down because everybody came back to normal, offline sales. But anyways, all the experts are saying that end of the year, like October, November, when we had a high season for flu, we'll also again have a high season for coronavirus when it's going to be cold. We'll be back to closed locations, so it will be much easier to develop. So some experts are saying that there is a risk of a second lockdown. So do you think that still the local authorities or local communities should develop, or that this project was just more like an experiment? So what do you think will be the future of this project?
So it strongly depends, of course, on our ecosystem. So the idea is basically that you or other partners and agencies can adapt everything and use it, let's say, in your region, your country, whatever. And that is already in place. So we have some partners, one, for instance, from Italy, who is launching downtown for North Italy. It's going to be available in 2 or 3 weeks with several hundreds of merchants that are then using this platform. So it's really cool. But to be honest, you are absolutely right. So it's a little bit this pitfall that with the new situation. So it's more and more opened, and retailers don't have this major pain anymore in many countries. It's the same situation as every time. So if there is no pain anymore, they don't take care so much about, let's say, e-commerce strategies or thinking out of the box. What can I do to get my business through the next years and something like that. And my personal, hopefully, that's really a wish of mine. They change their mindset a little bit in the upcoming months, because I think it's absolutely necessary that they think about new digital models. Doesn't matter if it is downtown or on shop or, let's say, some marketplace strategy or something like that. But this old-fashioned retail concept is not going to be successful in the future.
Yeah. So looking at this technology in the future, so what are the big, technologies for the future? Also looking from Shopware, from your perspective, did coronavirus and the crisis change any of the approaches? What do you focus on with Shopware right now?
Cloud, and cloud.
Okay.
Quite easy. To give you a better answer on this, so what we see is really people are more and more educated to consume things as a service. So this is really a major trend, and this also affects the B2B software market, of course. So we really think that cloud solutions are becoming increasingly flexible in the future. So nowadays it's hardly limited to this is old standard software pitfall. So you can only use the standard software in the way the developer. But we see, I think you already know about it. There's major trends, no code and low code. So you have a very flexible core in the cloud. You have flexible and open APIs, and then in the future you can adjust a lot of behavior and a lot of system logic through solutions like our rule builder. And that leads to a much more flexible e-commerce platform that you can use. So that is, I think, in the future, the world will becoming more and more complex. So that is also the today world is complex, really complex, and it will getting more complex in the future as well. We see more touch points, more customer groups, more markets, and so on. And what everybody needs is flexibility. That is basically the most important thing. And I think this combination of, let's say, solutions from the cloud that can offer really good time to market and really fast with the things you want to do, together with new approaches like no-code and low-code that can provide additional flexibility. Of course, also the work of the agency. So that is a good combination that can have a lot of power in the future.
Does it mean that what does it mean for Shopware? Is Shopware going to still be on premise and cloud, or you're more thinking about direction of having a full cloud solution within? I'm not saying this year probably, but within few years.
It's a really interesting question. We will stay to also provide Shopware, let's say, in various distribution models. So it's for us, cloud is one, let's say, distribution mode that is working for quite a lot of merchants, especially in the future. But of course, there are also merchants that need much more flexibility, that literally want to change every single line of code or something like that. And for that reason, on-prem will also be very important in the future, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, and Stefan, I also heard some gossiping. I don't know if how well known that is, but since your software model is available on-premise solution, but also on cloud, you got the interest of our American friends of Gartner. Is there something you can share about this? So this Magic Quadrant people, we see you smiling, but B2B is of course also for us as agencies, but also many clients who are B2B incorporated. So this is, I think, interesting. Can you share us something?
Yeah, it's true. So we are in contact with Gartner. It's a little bit about also to get the experience from Gartner to different questions. So let's say market entry strategies and something like that. So it's really helpful for us to work together with them. But of course, also the chance to get listed in the major quadrant is really, really important. It would be a really important step for us.
Yeah.
And, I think we have to cross our fingers. So were hard weeks with a lot of questions and talks with them, and hopefully, we will make it on the major quadrant.
Yeah, because the last time I checked, so I think it was out last quarter. Shopware wasn't in there yet, but so I'm really looking forward to the next quarterly sessions. And but I think you can show these Gartner people some interesting software because it's and on-premise and cloud, and I think that triggered them, right? So.
It's also a little bit about, let's say, this growth journey. So you can easily start in the future with the cloud product. And if you get more professional, maybe in the future, you need more flexibility. And you can easily switch to distribution mode without losing your invested money. So you can take all your apps with you and all your data. You don't have this classical vendor login. Upfuck. So you are free in any case, and you are flexible. And I think that is a really strong differentiator for us in the future.
Question related to the future, because usually within such a crisis like right now, there are some of the e-commerce technologies or e-commerce players that might become unicorns in the future. If you look at Alibaba started their success just after or during the SARS crisis in 2002, when Chinese people get locked, and this gave Alibaba a huge an impact of their growth. Now they are a leader if you look at the global player. So if you had few thousand spare euros, what would you invest in? What do you think will be big soon? So something that is not yet a unicorn, but might become a unicorn, either technology or e-commerce solution soon. Of course, except of Shopware. Yeah, I assume that if you had a few euros spent, you will invest in Shopware. But if not Shopware, if you have to choose something else.
Unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball, of course. What I think is that that the things that are now happening will shake up the market, of course, but also the balance of power, I think. So there is a really big chance that there are a lot of very important and big players of the future that we maybe don't know today because of they will be grow out of the Corona crisis and will be maybe the next major companies of the future, let's say. So, of course, I think nowadays you can easily buy stocks from any company that is doing something with digitalization in the end. So everything will profit because of the world will want to make sure that they don't get these problems again in the next lockdown or crisis. So that will lead to a lot of invest, I think. But this example of Alibaba or something like that, I strongly believe that the companies of the next decade, let's say, a lot of companies that we don't know today.
Yes, that's true. The question is who it is, because it would be nice to know now, so we can invest or make some bet or do something do something about it. And also looking at at your challenges, Shopware Community Day is coming, and it's for the first time. It's going to be like a full remote one. So what do you hope for? How do you think it's going to look like? Because probably you also have a lot of decision to do, a lot of work on Shopware Community Day, especially that it's done as a remote one for the first time.
Yeah, so my biggest hope is that we manage to transfer the charm and the community feeling also digitally. So that is of course a challenge for us because of normally it's really important for us to have this personal contact with the community. It's also a chance, of course, so we can provide everything to a much larger audience. So in Duisburg, where the community day was in the last years, there were let's say 2,000 people, maybe 2,500 people. Yeah. And we already got more than 1,500 registrations for the digital community day, and there are 4 weeks to go. So it will be much more from the audience, from the, let's say, bare numbers, and that is also a chance. So I'm really looking forward, and I keeping my fingers crossed that everything will be back to normal next year. But I'm also looking forward to the community day next month. We'll have a lot of good and interesting updates for the community.
Yeah, I haven't registered yet, so you will have 1,501 person today because I forgot to do it. Yeah. I forgot to do it. Okay, I think we are coming to the part where we ask tough questions. We called it with Tomas a fast confession. So we will ask you a short question, for example, skiing or snowboarding, and you've got like 3 seconds to answer, and then we'll try to ask why you, for example, selected skiing or snowboarding. And the questions are, not easy. So let me ask the first. Let me ask the first question: Vue.js or React?
Vue.js.
Okay, and why Vue.js?
Because of Shopware is using Vue.js a lot, and we are also thinking Vue.js is it's open source community. It's from the mindset. It's near to our mindset, and really cool guys.
Magento or Shopify?
Magento.
Oh, that's an answer I didn't expect. So please tell us some more. Why?
I don't like this vendor login. For me, also, if we are choosing business software for Shopware, it's quite important to have the possibility to get all of my data and to being flexible and don't, let's say, being too much depending on some hidden agenda of a really big company, something like that. And that is basically the reason. Yeah.
Interesting, because so focused on the open source model, basically. Yeah. Okay. Good answer. Thank you.
Okay. Next tough question: Poland or Netherlands? You have to choose one.
Yeah, sorry, Thomas. Then I would choose Poland
No way!
Yeah.
Why?
because of I were only once in Poland. It was in the last year, and it was really a great experience for me. And I want to do this much more often in the future. And sorry, but in the Netherlands I was several times already. It's 30 kilometers from shopping.
Yeah,
All right.
those are tough questions just to see your reaction. So Thomas, you want to go with the next one?
Yes. Okay, so Lamborghini or Porsche Panamera?
That is a good question. Do you know what car I drive?
I don't know.
No,
We see
we
some
don't.
other people on Facebook, and then we're questioning
It is,
what your style will be.
The Hyundai i10. It's a very cheap car. What I think the price was 6,000 euros for a complete new car.
Yeah.
And that is the reason that it doesn't matter for me which car I drive. That's basically the answer. Hopefully it's okay.
It's the best
Yes.
answer you can give us. Thank you.
Okay. The next question: Shopware 6 or Shopware 7?
Shopware 6,
Yeah. Why Shopware 6, not Shopware 7?
because of I'm pretty sure that I think with Shopware 6 we will also introduce a new versioning scheme. So getting away a little bit from this big major release steps that are, let's say, a little bit classical and old-fashioned because of the cloud strategy together with the on-premise strategy. It's requiring continuous deployment, and therefore I don't think we will have this major release steps in the future. It's more, let's say, it's not 100% sure now, but I could imagine that we maybe have, let's say, some yearly releases. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year there's a new major release for the on-premise world.
Yep.
And it is not Shopware 6.3 or Shopware 7 or something like that. It's just like Atlassian is versioning their products. It's much more on a yearly base.
Yeah.
And in the cloud, let's say cloud world, it's of course it's we are releasing several times a day, so it's not longer connected to classical version numbers.
Cool.
Yeah, we also have a big belief in Shopware 6. But just to explain to everybody, so Stefan did not knew about this question, so he couldn't prepare the answers. So this was just a big surprise.
Maybe before we go to a close, do you have a question maybe for Borys or for me?
Yeah, I really have a question in mind. So what do you think, what is the most important next step for Shopware to grow internationally?
I can pick it up. I think if you look at your strategy and the way you are going with the product and with the technology, I think it's good and you should follow it. It's nothing you should change. The big challenge is, community, just to build community, get the engagement, because that's something, at least what I believe or we believe here very much, that we work hard. Everything is of course about business, about challenges, but at the end of the day, it's a kind of like a big family. So Thomas, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you on the community, of course. I also think that looking at the functionals from Shopware, if we talk to my clients, I think the most important functionals will be on tax calculations, or horizontal or vertically, but I think I saw it on the roadmap, so that's something we really look forward to.
Yeah, thank you very much.
But overall, Stefan, it's a very good job. So keep doing it, whatever you're doing, because it's good. And we know that we are more about cars. We haven't talked much about cars today, but we had the proposal to run a car podcast, but we decided that Shopware One is going to be more fun. So Top Gear Unplugged, we said, no, it's not a big deal. B2C, you can wait. The better one is a Shopware One. So you're doing a good job. So please continue doing a good job.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So as you told about let's say community and the power of community. So we got 3 new translations of Shopware 6 within 2 weeks. And it was for me also some kind of sign, but also some kind of proof how we can scale further in the future. So this power of this combined community and the work of a lot of people, it's absolutely impressive. And that can move us and everybody that is part of the Shopware universe to a new dimension in the next months and years. That is really, really good development.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also, if you're looking, it's not about complaining about Magento, but recently there was again one day when there was so many tweets complaining about, Magento. There is a quite known guy from Japan he was like complaining end of Magento support community, blah blah. He was pissed, and some other people, that were not happy about what Adobe was doing and what they've done with community. So I think it's also some gap that is changing on the market. That this Magento community, it's still alive because of certain momentum and speed, like a snowball. But it's not something that is increasing. It's more and more people who are complaining about what is happening. So this used to be an interesting. Funny product, great people. Now it just became, not a company, but just a product of Adobe with, targets, with things.
It's also, of course, it's a very thin line, and I think that line is for every software vendor. So now Shopware has a big momentum across Europe. We see Shopware growing in Poland. We see Shopware growing in Austria, in Italy, in the Benelux. It's still a thin line, and I think the most important thing is that if you also keep growing your business, and also keep growing with your colleagues, Stefan, because I think you wouldn't call them employees, but you will call them colleagues probably. Keep doing it from the heart, and then people will reward you with being loyal, and then hopefully we'll be doing this for the next years as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That is most important. It's all about people.
So I think that's all what we have for today. So it was a pleasure to have you here. We look really forward for Shopware community today, and I think whoever is listening and just like me forgot to register or missed some emails that I get, it's a good moment. Is there any limitation? Do you have a limit of people for this digital event?
No, everybody can attend, of course.
Okay. So yeah, join and attend. Me and Tomas will join, remotely. We're more hoping, I don't know if you've listened to our first episode where we make a bet about eating croquettes and some grasshoppers. So it won't happen, unfortunately, because of the crisis, but we will be for sure there. So we will also make some, make some comments about Shopware, about Shopware community. Great. Stefan, so thank you very much again. And if you like this podcast, you can share it. You can invite some other people, and we are looking forward for the next episode.
Welcome to Shopware Unplugged, episode 5.